In this video, we will see how to create an ONNX file for text generation in your Python code, which will use a local AI LLM model. So let's see the code. So I also run this code in parallel because it takes time for execution. So in the run, this is a prompt what I have given to write a story about sunflower, and let's see how the output comes. But in the meantime, I can probably quickly explain you the code. So this code has basically two parts. The first part is where we are generating the ONNX file, ONNX to run it locally on my CPU on my local laptop. And over here, the model what I'm trying to use, I'll be using is GPT2, which is a part of transformers library from the Hugging Face. Okay, so here you have to define your model and then get the respective model and tokenizer from that. And then we have given the these are the for prompts which we'll be using later in the second part of this code. And then we are defining the file path where we have to create this model. So this part is already done before I started this video, so it will take a while to download the model. If it's not done for the first time, it's around 500 MB file, so it may take a while to download and then create this part of the ONNX file. So it uses the torch.onnx.export. So I can just show you quickly. So this is the file which will get generated. It's around 600 MB. So it's, yeah, in conversion it might have increased a bit, but that's fine. And over here, while for generation, it will take the input IDs, which is like a sample input, and based on that, it will create a kind of shape. It will create a shape for that model, whatever we are creating. So once done that, so this is the main command to generate the model. So once done this, then we can quickly validate by calling again the checker over here on this particular generated model, which is the file path, which is this ONNX file. And if everything fine, we are just printing something which is this one. Now once this is printed, then we are getting into the part of generating the text over here. So first we are starting a session for this particular ONNX file with the refresh session, and then we'll be using this session to generate our output. So we have created two methods here. One is top resampling and generate text. So we'll come to them one by one. So but let's scroll further down, and here we are calling the generate text method for the inputs like session whatever we have just now created above, and tokenizer what we got from the for the respective models. We need to use the same tokenizer like here we are using GP2, so make sure you use GP2. And dummy input, which is basically the input prompt whatever we given. So I will definitely integrating it into a larger application, but right now it's a kind of dummy input, and the max length what we want, so 1000 tokens is what I want over here. So before I get into this method more in more details, so I'll just quickly show you that this method, this session, since it's running locally on my CPU, it will consume my local resources. So if I go here, so I have a fairly good processor and all. Even still, it's using the processor for generating the text, although it's just 1000. Okay, so if in the background you saw the text generation is completed just now, and the CPU has just not declined because the process is complete. So from it was like around 80% to now it's almost 20-30% CPU usage is there. So it's a good decline. Of course, it also uses a bit of GPUs. For in my case, it's mostly using Intel, but I have also NVIDIA GPUs. Anyway, let me show you the output. So it generates some output, which is basically I asked it to write a story about sunflower and all. It has written some story. Of course, it doesn't. I'm not getting into details of the story. It will also depend on the model what we have chosen. So if model is not good, the output won't be good. But I want to show you the code over here. So in this generate text method, we will send all the details, and over here, based on the details, first it will create a initial input and generate text if it will initialize, and in the loop it will go for the maximum length. It will keep on iterating, and based on the input, it will create the ONNX input and respective variables, logics and all, and it will then do some kind of filtering here. Filtering basically based on the top piece sampling. So top piece sampling is nothing but it will sample the probability of what amount of tokens we want to probably. So only the top 90% it will take, not more than that. Okay, and then once that is done, then it will calculate the respective probabilities using the softmax and all, and then it will get the respective token ID, and it will keep on doing this next token ID until it reaches EOS token ID, which is basically end of a statement. And once it reaches until then it will keep doing, and based on the token ID it will update the ID, the token ID over here, and based on that we'll generate text, we'll decode it using the tokenizer whatever we had defined earlier. So again I'm repeating, this tokenizer should be of the same model whatever we are going to use. So here we are going to use GPT, so that's why we have taken the GPT2 tokenizer, which is from Hugging Face. And once we have taken that, then generate text will be returned, and that is getting printed over here. That's all. So it's that simple a code. So yeah, I just wanted to show you, and it takes time to rerun. So I can remember it will take a time, but more or less you have to just run this Python this command, and it will rerun from the start. Okay, so it will first check whether this model exists or not. If not, then it will create. But in my case, since it exists in my folder, it will not recreate, and it will just skip this part. It will just do a quick check, print this statement, and then proceed. So that's all. I hope this video is useful to you. If you have any questions or suggestions, please put in the comment section below. Thank you and have a nice day.